Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about finding slope based off of 2 points. So again, we're looking at our slope notes here. So I'm looking at this bottom section that's talking about 2 points. Zoom out slightly. There we go. So we talked about the other day that we can use 2 different formulas kind of to find slope. So one of them was using the rise over run. So that's talking about like on a graph. The one we're going to be using today is this y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's what we're going to be using today. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down because it's a formula. We're going to substitute things in to it. Okay. All right. So there's our formula. So if we're given 2 points, so let's say I'm given, let's say -3, 2, and let's say we have, doesn't really matter, 4 and 5. All right. So basically, the first thing is to label the x and the y coordinates. So remember, a point is always an x and then a y, alphabetical. So x and then y. Now the thing is, the first point here, I'm going to put little 1s behind it to tell me this is the first x and the first y. Then the second point here, I'm going to put little 2s behind it to tell me that these is the second x and the second y. Now all I'm going to do is to substitute these in. So our y2 was 5. And if you want to put parentheses around everything, that's fine. And it says minus our y1. So our y1 was 2. And then our x2 was 4 right here. Minus our x1, which is right here, which was -3. So then all I'm going to do, okay, is find the change of y and the change of x, meaning I'm going to subtract these. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how much has changed. So I'm going to subtract. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 4 minus a -3. Now, if I'm subtracting a negative, what I'm really doing is it's actually going to change this to addition. So again, it's going to change it to addition, and let's change that color, sorry. So it's kind of like it's an addition problem. Now, if you don't remember that, if you punch in your calculator 4 minus, in parentheses, -3, it's going to go ahead and understand that that's going to be like plus. So it's going to add those together and give us 7. So, sorry. All right, so again, we're finding this change by subtracting. So then we're going to write our fraction as the change of y over the change of x, which is the same as our rise over run. Okay, so again, it's the same as our rise over run, because it's saying if I were to actually graph these 2 points, I'd have to rise 3 and run 7 to get from one point to the other. That's what it's saying. All right. Let's try another one. Let's say we have the points 6 and -1, and let's do 5 and sorry, let's do 5 and 2. Okay. So we have these 2 points. Again, I'm still using my formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. First thing we're going to do is label our x's and our y's. We're going to substitute these in once we labeled it the first points and the second points. So y2 is 2. Minus y1, which was -1, over x2, which is 5, minus x1, which was 6. minus x1, which was 6. So 2 minus a negative 1, remember those minus and negative is going to turn into a plus sign. So this is going to end up being 3. And 5 minus 6 is negative 1. 3 over negative 1 actually simplifies to give us negative 3. So I'd have a rise of negative 3 over 1. So I'd go down 3 and over 1 to get to the next point on my line. All right. So if you're at home and you're completing this virtually at this point, I want you to work on Y2 in IXL. It talks about finding slope from 2 points. All right. Remember, if you make a mistake, read through the description so you can understand what mistake you may have made. Again, make sure that you're labeling your x and y's, substituting them into the formula. You can use a calculator to do the actual subtraction if you want, but just be careful.